everyone. Welcome back to Storytime. Tonight's book is called Felix and the Dandelion, written by Judith Steinbacher, illustrated by Antonia Nork. Spring has arrived. The sun is shining brightly. The countryside is a patchwork of green and yellow meadows. Honeybees and bumblebees hum nearby. Beetles buzz through the air. Butterflies flutter from flower to flower. And there is something else whirring through the air. Can you see the little red creature with black spots? It is Felix, the ladybird. Felix is looking for a new home. He flies around the meadow. Many thousands of buttercups sway in the wind. It is a beautiful sight. Felix meets butterflies and dragonflies. He watches fireflies dancing through the air and visits some friends at their flower homes. Suddenly, Felix sees a very beautiful flower, which is a shiny, bright yellow. It is a dandelion. Felix is very excited and lands on the dandelion. He walks over the little flower petals and around the middle. Then, he climbs up and down the stem and explores the leaves. But the thing he likes best is to sit on the shiny yellow flower. Felix is very happy and decides that this is his flower. This is his new home. His dandelion is special and is the most beautiful of all. Felix loves to look after his flower. When the flower opens in the morning, he shakes the dewdrops off. He cleans away every bit of dust, which the wind blows onto his flower. And then Felix loves to nap between the yellow flower petals and feel the warm spring sun on his back. When it gets dark, Felix snuggles up in the soft fluff in the middle of the flower head. The flower closes over him and lulls him gently to sleep. Moon and stars shine in the night sky, but Felix doesn't see them. The little ladybird wouldn't swap with anybody in the world. Felix spends several nights, happy and peaceful, on his flower. But one morning, everything changes. Felix wakes up and waits for his flower to open. But nothing happens. He slowly crawls out of the flower towards the daylight. The sun is already high up in the sky. He tries to loosen the strong outer petals of his flower, but the petals don't move a bit. The whole day, Felix pushes and pulls, but the flower stays closed. The flower petals start to dry up on the edges. Felix tries to protect his flower against the sun and the wind with his body. He spends the whole night under a leaf. Two days and 2 nights pass, and the flower stays closed. Then, on the 3rd day, the flower opens. But how the flower has changed! It is now a fluffy white ball made out of tiny parachutes. Felix is thrilled and flies around the new flower. At night, Felix glances sleepily from under the leaf. The white flower ball, the silver moon, and the stars make a dazzling display. The next morning, the flower ball sparkles in the sunlight. But it is very windy, and every gust of wind sways the flower to and fro. Suddenly, a parachute breaks off and flies into the blue sky. Felix looks at it, amazed. Then, another parachute breaks off, and then another. Before Felix realizes what is happening, dozens of gleaming parachutes are floating in the sky. Felix tries to rescue the rest. He hangs onto the last remaining parachutes and tries to hold them back. But another gust of wind shakes them so strongly that Felix lands on his back. Now, the last parachutes have flown away. The little ladybird is sad and sits on the empty flower stem. His shiny yellow flower and the fluffy flower ball have both vanished. I must find at least the whirling parachutes, Felix thinks. He spreads his wings and flies away. How the meadow has changed. Flower balls sway everywhere in the sun. The yellow blooms are almost all gone. The wind blows hundreds of white parachutes all over the meadow. Far away in the distance, almost on the edge of the forest, Felix sees some glittering dots. These must be the parachutes of his flower. Felix chases after the swirling, whirling parachutes. Sometimes he almost reaches the parachutes, but then the wind blows the seeds away again. After a long and difficult flight, Felix lands exhausted on the meadow on the edge of the forest. The sunset glows through the trees. Then, Felix sees that his parachutes have settled all over this meadow. They glitter and sparkle in the last remaining sun rays. Felix is thrilled and crawls to the parachute that sparkles the most. After a short while, he falls asleep. Felix dreams that this seed settles in the ground and starts to grow roots. Little green leaves grow, and a big stem with a bud comes out. The flower opens. It is the most beautiful and dazzling flower anyone can think of. Felix crawls into the soft middle of the flower head and falls asleep. Felix smiles. And next year, his dream comes true. And don't forget to make a wish.